All right, let's bring in our guy, Ross Tucker. Feels like our annual conversation with Ross. Always love having you on here at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, great seeing you guys. I love the professional setup, all the lighting and the cameras and everybody behind the scenes. Very, very impressive.
We get bigger and bigger every year.
I never expected this for you guys, to be honest with you.
I didn't think so either.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, I'm just busting your
No,
chops.
you're right. I had no idea that no one would be stupid enough to let me into an operation like
That's right.
this.
To get NFL.
No,
media.
you guys are killing it. I love it, and you got a hot team to talk about. That's for sure.
We
Always.
do. Well, let's start with you, though, real quick, because Ross Tucker, of course, you should be following him at Ross Tucker NFL on social media. I feel like every time I was driving around somewhere Sunday, you were coming through some game through my radio or TV or something like that.
I'm trying to avoid a real job as long as I possibly can, like the plague, dude. And I'll say this: I'm only on sideline twice a year for Westwood One for radio. I did Ravens, Steelers, and now I'm on the sideline for NFC Championship game. Yeah. You forget what it's like down there. Like you forget, number one, the atmosphere. Number two, it's so funny when there's an outbreaking play, like coming to the outside. These other people are standing there like, dude, as soon as they get to the numbers, I am out. I'm not tearing an ACL or an Achilles for these guys. I am out. And then by the time everybody else figures it out and they're booting back, I go up and help the guy up because I'm already cleared. And then when he falls down, I'm already coming forward to help him up. The ref pushed me on the one Hurts touchdown because I saw Jeremy Chin coming to me, and I was like put my hands up to like slow him down. So it's awesome. I love the environment. And one other thing I think is very important to bring up, even though you guys didn't ask it all.
No, that's right.
With any type of tush push or quarterback sneak like the Bills-Chiefs, it is impossible. So if you're not familiar, okay, a football field is 53 1/3 yards wide. The guys in charge of spotting, right, the side judge, the field judge, they're in the white. So they are at least 25 yards away from an 18-person mass of humanity. To think that, because I was right behind them. I like literally on a couple of the fourth downs for the Eagles, I went right behind those guys to try to see it. No chance that you can see where the ball is when Hurts or Josh Allen's knee or shin or forearm touch the ground. There's no way. They are, what do we call it when we're in school? It's an educated guess based kind of on where the guy ends up and how the pile moves. Why that's relevant is because if you choose, like the Bills did, to run that sneak again, even though they got stuffed twice, you're really kind of putting it in those guys' hands. And that was hilarious in that game where they needed to get to the 40. The field judge comes in on this side of the 40. The side judge comes in on the other side of the 40. Usually, though, they look at each other as they're running in, and they do one of these, and they even it out, which should have been the 40. It should have been a first down, but anyway.
That's the game of inches, right? Like, it literally can be down to how the ref walks up the line of scrimmage
usually they
to
do
spot
like
the ball.
It's like a squiggly line.
Yeah.
They're never like.
But also, the Bills put it in their hands.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, you have a 250-pound sledgehammer quarterback. Run quarterback power or counter, or maybe quarterback sweep. Where the head of steam, you're telling me Josh Allen's not going to go roaring over the 40-yard line? My point is, I thought the Bills got out-coached in the game on a bunch of different plays. We can get into it if you guys care. Most people care about Chicago stuff here. But they got out-coached, and that was a good example. They already got stuffed on the play twice. Run another play where Josh Allen can dive past the 40-yard line. Clearly a first down.
Well, we certainly want to get into Bears talk, but the tush push stuff, I am interested in your take because not just in the Bills game, but when you looked at the Washington game where they just kept jumping off sides, almost to just like make a mockery of the whole thing.
No, they should do that, though. That's your only chance.
Right.
Well, if you time it up right and you get them and they can actually lose yardage, it's genius. If you get called for offsides and they move the ball,
there's no penalty.
2 feet.
Did you know the rule that they can award them a touchdown if they just kept doing it for the next hour and a half?
I actually did because I asked about that one time. I said, like, what if they just kept doing that till Tuesday?
Like a protest.
Yeah. Okay, here's another quarter inch. Here's another quarter inch.
Do you think it should be banned?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you why not. Because it's been proven that it's not the play that's the success. It's like the way the Eagles run it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other teams that have tried it, And they can't run it nearly as successfully as the Eagles do.
Well, we know the Bears can't.
Well, they don't even try, but that's another point. Some teams don't even try to do it because they know they can't.
Well, and here's the thing. The left side of the offensive line, okay, for the Eagles, right? Jordan Mailata is 6'8", 380 pounds. And this is very relevant for the Bears, right? I played for 5 teams over 7 years. I've seen a lot of big dudes. The Eagles, bro, they are monsters, okay? Mailata's 6'8", 380, moves very well. By the way, Australian rugby player, so he knows the exact technique, which is why it's not the initial surge, it's the second surge where they get it. But the dude next to him, left guard Landon Dickerson, 6'6", like 355, 360. The center, Cam Jurgens, is more like a Jason Kelsey athletic freak, like he played Nebraska tight end for a couple years. The right guard, Becton, is 6'7.5", 365. The run of the litter, Lane Johnson's 6'6", 335, rippled abs, is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, their offensive line's crazy. But if you notice, Hurts will always go to the left because Landon Dickerson and Jordan Mailata, they are movers of men. It's impressive to watch.
Yep. So that basically takes me, at least as I'm trying to transition into Bears. Do you think that, A, the Bears got the right hire for them in Ben Johnson, and B, when you're talking about offensive line like that, what do you think about the way Ryan Poles has built this team to this point, and do you think he'll have a major shift this offseason?
So let's start with Ben Johnson. I thought it was a home run on multiple levels. We obviously don't know what type of head coach he'll be. But what I look at it is the floor for him is being the best coordinator in the NFL, the best offensive coordinator in the NFL. So if nothing else, the $13 million or whatever they're supposedly paying him, if all you know from Ben Johnson is that he is going to maximize whatever you have in the asset is Caleb Williams, that's well worth $13 million. Now, do we hope he's good in front of the room and good with clock management and game management and setting the culture and all those things? Sure, I really hope he is. But to me, with them just having Caleb last year, number 1 overall pick, having the floor be knowing that you can get that guy in the best possible position, that was huge. And also, I think, and you guys know this, you've been around Chicago your whole life, the message it sent to the city, to Bears fans everywhere, about them being willing to pay like that, right? Because we all know the Bears' track record, the Bears' history, the fact that they were willing to pay up like they did for Ben Johnson, and also that Ben Johnson wanted to go there.
Right.
You know, I had Jordan Schultz on my show Friday, the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, because I was a little surprised that Ben Johnson didn't go to the Raiders, because I thought with the Raiders, he could have picked his GM. Whereas with the Bears, there's already a GM in place. And Jordan said he wanted Chicago all along. He didn't care to pick his GM. He was fine with Poles, and I think he really liked Caleb. He liked staying in the NFC North, which I thought was really interesting. So, anyway, I thought that was a good sign for the Bears, too.
Well, and that's like what feels like the biggest endorsement is that so he gets it. You need a quarterback to be successful. And right now, that's obviously a conversation in Chicago. Caleb Williams, how his first year went. But it feels like if Ben Johnson's that convinced to take that job, then he believes in Caleb, obviously. And look, man, that's all we got in Chicago is hope.
He does believe in Caleb. Otherwise, he wouldn't take the job. I will be very interested to see how that goes. You know,
you seem skeptical.
I am on multiple levels. Number one, Caleb takes a lot of sacks, bro. Like a lot of sacks. And I'm glad he doesn't turn the football over. But he took sacks even going back to USC. And at some point, USC's offensive line isn't that good. The Bears' offensive line isn't that good. I'm of the mindset that sacks are in large part a quarterback statistic. I think pressure, I think to some extent quarterback hits are more on the line. But whether or not you actually get taken down with the ball in your hands, the quarterback controls that. So he has a pretty lengthy track record now of taking sacks. That's concerning to me. You know, Eberflus didn't throw him under the bus in that Lions game, but you go back and watch that Thanksgiving Day game, the Bears had it right. Run a play and then call the timeout. I have no idea why Caleb was trying to change the play. He was trying to audible, and that's why they ran out of time. They had a play called. Run the play. There were multiple instances I saw this year. I'm trying to remember the other one. Maybe you guys can remind me. There was another one.
10.
There's another one like late in the half or late in the game where it made me think, I'm not sure about this guy. Like from a football intelligence standpoint, like understanding the situation. Compare and contrast that. I know everybody got mad at me a couple weeks ago when I said I thought that the Bears made the wrong pick. Jaden Daniels, dude, he's like calm, cool, collected. He is poised, and he makes the right decision in those situations. Like he's done it a million times. And maybe, in fairness, Caleb was in college 3 years. Jaden Daniels, what, 5 or 6?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe that's the difference. If you're looking for the silver lining, maybe that's the difference. But I would just say there's a stark contrast to me in the level of comfort that I would have in either one of those guys in a 2-minute situation or late in the game to win it with the clock and all those things.
Yeah. Well, they're fair points.
Yep.
But he did put them in position multiple times. If there's one thing that we're clinging to,
and the
is
Packers
hope.
game,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and he
The
did
last
that
game.
other times where they screwed it up, or the first Packers game too. The kick got blocked.
They got
he got him down there.
They got to OT against the Vikings. He won the Commanders game twice, and then he gave up the Hail Mary. Like he had moments.
Can I say something else? I think it's weird. So I had all these guys before. I don't pretend to be like a quarterback guru and say like, well, his footwork, and I'm not that guy, okay? But I have those guys come on my show. I'm not exaggerating. Last year, before the draft, every guy that came on my show either said that they thought Jaden Daniels was the best, or when you heard them talk, like we could all see that Jaden Daniels was the fastest and best runner, okay?
Yeah.
They all would say he was the best pocket passer. He was the best progression reader. It was like Orlovsky and Phil Simms and Sean King and Greg Cosell, and like you go right down the line, right? So I remember asking a couple of them, like, okay, so what does Caleb Williams do better? And the two things I got were built better physique, for durability,
Right,
and also better throwing the ball on the move, like the Mahomes crazy arm talent on the move. Because I'm sitting there thinking, well, if I can see with my own eyes that Jaden Daniels is the better runner, and if everybody's telling me he's the better pocket passer and the progression reader, what are we talking about here then? I mean, those are like the two most important things to me of playing the position, but evidently the Bears felt differently.
Well, I mean, to your point, Jaden Daniels, 55 starts in college, and I believe Caleb was like 31. 35. So the experience is there as one differentiating factor. To me, the second one is play caller, taking it back to Ben Johnson. When you look at the way Cliff Kingsbury set up Jaden Daniels for success on the season, they ran the ball better. They were able to, scheme open easy throws. To me, that's the key, right? Ben Johnson getting Caleb Williams to get going quicker because they didn't score on their first possessions all year. They'd wait till the fourth quarter. So to me, Ben Johnson is the key to try to unlock him getting into a rhythm.
Got it. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we'll see, and that circles us all the way back to why getting Ben Johnson was so big, right? To whatever Caleb Williams can be, I'm pretty confident we'll find out.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
MyFrontPageStory.com. We've plugged this before. I think that
it's the best Valentine's Day gift ever.
Right.
Is your wife still with you?
Mine?
Yeah.
I hope so. I talked to her last night.
Okay.
So I don't.
I can't believe that for a second. But at any rate, go to myfrontpagestory.com. Get her the greatest Valentine's Day gift. What do you normally get her? What do you normally get her? Like flowers?
No, we do things on
you
Valentine's.
take her out
we
dinner.
just go out. We
Okay.
don't have gifts. Like, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Go to myfrontpagestory.com.
Well, what am I getting her with it?
Okay, you talk to a writer for 10 minutes while you're driving home from work. They write the most incredible story about her you've ever seen. Framed, beautiful pictures of you and her, the kids, if you have them. Definitely no pictures of kids if you don't have kids. But it looks incredible. I mean, just to be able to say to her, hey, babe, I want to do something special for you. So I had a story written about you. Like, that sounds so money. And then when she reads the quotes, like, make sure you say this. If you guys do it, make sure you say this. I never thank her enough for all the little things she does. Even if your wife doesn't do anything for you, she'll really, oh my gosh, she notices. myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com. Then it's hanging up in the house forever. So next time you get an argument, because I know you're getting a lot of arguments, you can just point to be like, look, right there, babe. I had a story written about you. You have a story written about me? No, you
That's a good
didn't.
point.
The headline of mine would be "Wife Saves Idiot Man-Child."
I think you guys should have to do this for each other.
Yes.
You guys should have to have a story written about each other.
And let me just do a little extra marketing for you for the and I don't even know if this is true, but I'm assuming it is. For the people in the boyfriend girlfriend stage, this is going to up your level. This is right there. You go.
Doesn't have to be your wife, any significant other.
Yes,
it's
thank
actually
you.
amazing too for like Mother's Day or parents or grandparents.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
MyFrontPageStory.com.
It's
Love it.
Get one for your dog. They might not even be able to read it, but it's cool that you can read it, show how much you meant to the
Read
dog.
it to the dog.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're going to do that.
I might.
With Poppy the puppy.
I love Poppy.
Okay. Ross, thanks so much, man. Always good talking.
Yeah, great talking with you guys. Absolutely.
Yep.